A couple of weeks ago, I painted up these 15mm scale Ultramarines, and honestly, it's not only the best video I think I've done so far, but they were the most fun thing I've had to paint in my collection. Since then, I've been really busy painting up some Kit Bash Gene Stealers at the same scale, and a few other things. Around the same time, I got this box from Green Stuff World, which was covered in doodles and came with some really cool hobby supplies, and it got me thinking, I need to put something in this box. I want to put a full, playable game that I can just bring this box with and nothing else. So I'm going to grab one more team from my tiny great pile of shame. I think we're going to go Orcs. Everybody likes Orcs. I bought these off an Etsy seller that I'll list in the description of the video, and they are fantastic. Really nice tiny models with lots of character. This is one of my normal Orcs for scale.
Is this where the fighting is?
And a really tiny boy.
Orcs is made for fighting.
For the Emperor!
We're under attack!
My name is Chris. I like to paint things, and today I'm going to take my pile of 15mm Orcs, paint them up in very fast, effective steps. I'm also going to paint up some desert terrain and put it all in one box so I can play 15mm Kill Team on the go.
Is this where the fighting is?
Now the first thing I had to do was give these guys a bit of a cleanup. I took my hobby knife and removed any of the supports left over from the printing process. The person I bought them off of did a very excellent job cleaning up most of them before they shipped them away. For these 3D printing supports must have just come away like butter. I used my hobby knife and it was very straightforward. Honestly, these guys didn't need a lot of cleanup, didn't need a lot of trimming back, but it's Orcs, there's a lot of them, so it did take a few minutes. Pretty much everyone had a couple of supports left over, but, you know, again, when you're 3D printing, only 3 or 4 supports isn't that bad. Next, we break into our piggy bank, steal some pennies, and we're going to line up our Orcs and use these as bases. Pennies are really nice because minis at this scale, especially resin, are super duper light. Last time, I was extremely lazy and just used some technical paint, but this time we're going to save ourselves some money and we're going to make up some paste, some texture paste of my own design. It's basically baking soda, craft paint, glue, a little bit of water. Not this much water, obviously. I've been kind of working on getting the ratios right for this method, and it's never perfect, which is why sometimes I get lazy and I do just use pre-made texture paste, but this is by and large cheaper, and boy do I like saving money, especially lately. So we only do a few drops of water just to give it a little bit more, break up some of that surface tension, and give it a mix, and our very unfortunately colored paste is ready to be applied to bases. Now, having the bases already on the feet of the models made this kind of tough to, you know, spread out evenly and look natural. I'm hoping when I leave them overnight this is going to look okay, but God, it really just looks like I threw them in my cat's litter box or something. That's okay. 10 more to go. After giving all of our models a nice black and then gray prime, it's time to paint. I'm going to use the famous
Here we
YouTube
go.
slap chop method on these guys, which is going all the way from black and dry brushing all the way up to white and then slapping contrast paint on top. This is a super cheap makeup brush and an off bluey white. It's one of my favorite whites in my collection. So I gave him an all-over dry brush of these on small models like this, especially really well-printed ones with some good detail. This is really, really handy, even if you weren't going to do the slap chop method.
Is this where the fighting is? Up yours!
As you can see, comparing this first dry brush to not having a dry brush, you can really pick out the details and know where you have to paint. Next, we're going to do a dry brush of a pure white. We're going to use Citadel's White Scar, which a paint some people don't seem to like, and I don't blame them. You got to shake it every other day or it pretty much disintegrates. This is a very soft dry brush just to really up our contrast. Now these are the paints I would normally use to paint orc skin for my 28mm models. It's a recipe I've gotten down over the last couple of years, but today we're going to ignore all of that and just use a Army Painter speed paint I picked up. This isn't even a really good color, I think, for orcs, but after we highlight it up, I think it's going to work very well. We're going to go for that new Games Workshop green that they use on orcs, which is a lot more yellow. And if you know how to slap chop, all you do is you slap down speed paints all over the areas you want. Try and be very careful and avoid the areas you don't want because the speed paints are going to mix and all the layers will show through. Next, we're going to take some more basic speed paints, a black for all of the pants. These are going to be Goths after all. And I find that using an ink is honestly pretty similar to using black contrast paint, but I have the contrast, I'm going to try it out. Then we're going to use brown on all of the leather bits like the boots and the straps on his back, that sort of thing. This contrast brown might be my favorite of these one coat speed paints because I don't like highlighting leather and brown. I've never been very good at it. This gives you a really, really nice color over top any white or gray. And as you can see, like a speed paint's supposed to, it leaves all that underpainting. Now we're going to use some actual acrylic metallics. These are my 3 favorite acrylics right now. So we're going to use a dark gunmetal for all of the guns and all of the plates and metal rivets on their back. But they're orcs, so you get to kind of play around with this. Not every single thing should be exactly the same color. They're not supposed to wear uniforms. This is Chris mid-edit here. I skipped the entire highlighting process of the orcs because I thought I ruined them, so I had to fix them off camera. Regardless, all you really do is you mix in your contrast paint or your speed paint with another ivory to give it a little more, base. I was terrified that the black wash I put on ruined them, so I had to just fix them off camera to make sure they looked good. There's other tutorials you can find out there. I'm not the guy. But back to the video. Up until now, I've just been using this Green Stuff World box for storage for all of my 15mm stuff. I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to paint on and off camera. But what's going to really sell this box as one game inside one box is going to be the terrain to play on. So this is some really, really cheap 3D printed terrain I bought off Amazon. I think it's Ender Toys. It's full of mold lines. It's not very, very good looking, but that doesn't really matter. We're going to use it as blasted city walls. We're not going to do tiny little pieces of rubble that you could shoot over. These are full-size walls, and we're going to make a ruined Tatooine city. First things first, we gotta chop them up. 2 of these were too long, I felt, to get around because the movement at this scale is not gonna really work and let you get around them in one turn. So I decided to make 4 tiny walls, and you get a little bit more options in terms of terrain. So I sawed these bad boys in half. Next, I cleaned up all the saw ends and got rid of all these scraps. I'm gonna save them for later because they're gonna make nice rubble for something, probably not for this project, but I don't like throwing away plastic if I think I can use it. Next, we're gonna bring all of our pieces together with some dirt and grime, kind of pull the scheme of the base onto the models. I experimented and considered putting all of these on their own bases, but then I figured they probably wouldn't fit in the kill team box, so that's okay. Next step is to fill in these ends with some leftover pieces of foam. You can get this foam anywhere. Honestly, you could use pretty much anything to fill these out. These are just so I didn't have to waste tons and tons of baking soda to fill up these gaps and wait for drying times. But we're gonna take our original basing mixture, our nasty, disgusting mess, and we're gonna cover all of these terrain pieces with it. It's gonna be a little more debris, like small scale debris, and again, it's just gonna tie in these terrain features with the actual basing scheme of all of my 15 mil guys, so they all play in the same place. This is like a concept, they don't need to be like super universal. We're gonna go Tatooine Desert, as I'll show you later. I tried to spread these out evenly, making the heaviest pooling at the bottom, but I also needed to cover all of these gaps. I covered every piece of terrain in at least some of this, whether or not I cut it up beforehand. This is going to add some dirt and dust and desert features, and again, just tie everything together. While those were drying, I got to work making some objective markers. I'm going to put these on bases and scratch build them out of parts. It's going to be actually pretty fun. I've got some Final Faction guns, I've got some of those plastic bits from before, I've got some AdMech pieces. They've even got some Necron stuff. We're gonna make giant rusty pieces of machinery. I think these Final Faction weapons are gonna be a good place to start. I saw this in a Bill making stuff video, and I'm gonna steal the idea directly as long as I can wrangle it for my cat. We have something in common, Bill. This was just a freeform day. It was very enjoyable to just cut apart pieces of plastic and fit them together, see what looks. I'm trying to make like blasted rusty machinery that we can fight over. Plasma reactors, oil refineries, I don't know, whatever the mission or the day or the narrative calls for. They're just going to be 5 objective markers to have in the box so you can actually play real games and not just shoot each other. Not that there's anything wrong with just shooting each other, but as you can see, I kind of took some guns and used them as towers. Guns work really well at towers in these scales, 10, 15 mil. I don't know what it is. They kind of end up looking like smokestacks or something. So I mixed a lot of GW bits and some cheap plastic bits from my bits box. I have a really weird bits box, and sometimes I don't know that I'll ever use any of it, but that's half of the point, isn't it? I collected a lot more junk back in the day. Last thing to really set the scale was I took some pieces of granny grating and glued them to all of the terrain walls to look like ladders. So that way, 1, you can climb over some of them. I didn't put these on all of them, and 2, it really sets the scale. After a quick priming, this looks like everything's gonna fit. This made me extremely happy to see the scale work and make sense. I wanted everything to end up kind of looking like this color, but I don't want to waste my mini paints on this, so we're gonna use craft paint. I don't have tons of colors of craft paint. I know I could just buy more. They're super cheap, but I felt like painting and I didn't have it. So I mixed white and yellow and got a really, really, really bad color that I was not aiming for. I've been experimenting with sponging lately, and this was kind of on the right path, but this was not the way. I think the gray primer was the wrong move. So I'm going to take some of this burnt umber and actually now create a real base coat, which I clearly forgot to kind of make a base coat before the first layer of sponging. Sponging is nice, but you have to remember to work up in layers, same way you would be like highlighting a miniature. Now this is starting to look bad, so I followed a tutorial I found online from Good Enough Painting. Again, I'll put a link to that for these 3D printed Tatooine buildings, which I think is the move. The first thing I unfortunately did was break out the mini paints. Didn't want to use them on terrain, but it's not a lot of terrain, so I'm not that worried. We're going to do a couple of dry brushes to build that sandiness back up. So the base coats are fine, and I figured this would be the first step into getting them towards what I wanted. So I did some off-white ivory dry brushing, followed by an actual off-white mummy robes from the Army Painter, which is a fantastic paint to have. And you can see the difference is striking. Now it looks like a sea sponge, which is still not what we want, but it's kind of on the right path. So I took some of the same paint that I used to actually base the miniatures, and I got the entire bottom of all of these to kind of make them look, I don't know, dirty, dusty, dingy. And then I painted all of the ladders with a like brassy metallic, just so that they were visible. The objective markers, I started all brown, and then I did a dry brush of dark steel, and then a dry brush of lighter steel, and then I physically picked out some different metallic colors, and then I put some color on there, an actual red for like lights and stuff, and then I gave everything a really, really heavy wash to make it disgusting looking. These might be the best part of this box, I can't even lie. The last step was to take a dark umber wash and wash over all the metallic pieces on this terrain. I didn't want it to look wet, I wanted it to look dry, and honestly I think it came out way, way, way better than I thought it was going to when I first looked at it. Some of that yellow still shows through, and honestly I don't think it's that big a deal. After all of that was painted, and all our objective markers were done, our orcs were done, I had a full set of Kill Team in a box. I actually did it, and this is what it looks like. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else you'd like to see me paint at 15 mil scale. I got at least 2 more videos I definitely want to do. I'm super happy with this. I literally can bring it wherever and try and trick my friends into playing Warhammer. I'm going to use Grimdark Future rules, not regular rules, if you can see by those cool little cards that I made up in Photoshop. Beyond that, like I said, comment, subscribe, all that dumb nonsense stuff that YouTube makes you do. I've been Chris, I like to paint things, and have a great day.